yesterday. We had two huge upsets and an overtime thriller in the books, and we're very excited to see what today's matches will bring. And we're going to be starting things off here with a live match of OpiWrites versus Tabsies. While we wait for this draft, what are your thoughts?
So I'm super excited to see this match just because I haven't seen very much competitive SpyParty from Tabsies since SCL5. Obviously, he's with the sliding patch. He now can play competitively, so we're seeing him more and more. And I think that Opie versus Tabsies is really exciting, just because that's two of the best players in SpyParty.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, in picking the players for this invitation, we tried to pick players who can beat any other player on any given day, and I think that's certainly true of Tabsies and obviously true of OP as well. Looks like we've got the draft here, so let's run through it real quick. Tabsies started off with the first pick, and Tabsies banned Veranda, while OpiWrites banned Library.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Library, I think, is Tabsies' favorite venue to play, and then obviously Opie on Veranda is really, really strong. It's not, I would say, his favorite venue, but I do think that it's the venue he would have the biggest advantage on.
Yeah, that makes sense to me as well. Follow-ups are the restricts. We have Tabsies restricting Redwoods and Opie restricting Gallery.
Yeah, not sure. I don't think that Gallery is specifically targeted at Tabsies. I think that's more just Opie doesn't like to play it. And then Tabsies restricting Redwoods because Opie would double it in almost every match if he could, I think.
Yeah, worth mentioning as well. Let's run through the rest of this quickly, and then I'll get to those thoughts, I guess. Tabsies doubles Aquarium, OpiWrites doubles Ballroom.
Yeah, Tabsies doubling Aquarium, really exciting to see. They're going to start off with Opie Spy on Aquarium. Opie been pretty darn vocal about not liking Aquarium for obvious reasons. He doesn't like the shark cheese, but very willing to do it because he thinks that it's the best way to win, and it probably is. And then Ballroom from Opie, they both like Ballroom, so I'm not surprised that made it through. But it's always exciting to see Opie play Ballroom.
Yep, definitely true. And lastly, we're finishing up with the single picks. Tabsies singling Highrise, and OpiWrites picking Redwoods.
Yep, Opie picking the restrict from Tabsies, and it makes sense. He always picks Redwoods when he can. And then Tabsies picking Highrise is a little bit of a wild card, but Highrise has been seeing a lot of play recently in different competitive formats in Summer Cup, in Tournament of Position, and in this.
Yeah, I was going to say in the middle of that, before I thought better of it, that I think Tabsies, of course, because he hasn't played in over a year competitively, really, there's not really any sort of map information to base off of. So I feel like Tabsies is kind of at an advantage here with the limited data available.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that not having a ton of replays on him is a big advantage, and then the fact that he has replays on everybody forever is a pretty big advantage for him as well.
All right, looks like we have the first match just about wound up. Taking a moment as they change game modes. And all right, we're just waiting for them to get in. Any final thoughts before we see here? Are we going to see some shark cheese right off the bat from Opie?
I think definitely. If Opie doesn't finish behind the shark for a full 10 seconds, I'd be surprised. But if he doesn't, I still expect at least one mission to get done completely behind the shark.
All right, well, here we go. Looks like we are live. We have OpiWrites starting off as Plane Twin, getting into a conversation by the AI and immediately bailing and going to books instead. Starting off with blue books is an interesting choice, and it feels like, especially with no fingerprints or other options there, this is a deliberate choice to try and get some microfilm done right off the bat. Yep, and there's the action test. It's a green test, slightly on camera, but there's some cover from Kane, and I think we're okay here.
Yeah, I think so too. Looks like the bar's fairly busy early on, and so are statues. So you've got 2 people at statues, 4 people at bar, Amba at bar. There's a lot going on early on at this party, so it's a good time to get that microfilm done.
Yep, definitely. The party's giving Opie a lot of help early here, but that green test as well. 2 green tests so far and 2 chances for Opie, and that definitely helps too. We're in this front conversation circle right next to our seduction target, and the party is still filtering out. The ambassador's leaving a print. Nope, never mind. The ambassador rejects a drink. And we're going to go right over to the other bookshelf now and try and get this microfilm done right away. The shark is going to come over and cover us if we time this right. Let's see if that's what Opie has in mind here. Yep, Opie's camera is following the shark here, and I assume we're just going to trigger this off as soon as the shark gives us the cover.
Yeah, we are pretty high up on the pad, though. does get it just behind the fin, which works out really well, because if it wasn't behind the fin, that was going to be pretty on screen.
Yeah, we had the green test as well, and even though the head turn was a little bit visible, but with the green test, not too bad at all, especially with Twin. So that's not bad. And then we step back into our next to our seduction target into the same conversation circle, another green test, 4 for 4 for Opie here, and that's 2 missions done with 225 left to go.
Yeah, really strong start on Aquarium, and I mean, this is without a bug or a contact, so you'd like to think that this game is going to be a spy win for OP right now.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really feel like we have any suspicion, but it's hard to tell. It seems like Tabsies is focusing all the highlights. Never mind, that's a highlight for statue. So Tabsies mixing his highlights here, which is a bold strategy, but can certainly backfire. I've certainly had it backfire before myself.
Yeah, I think that not really sure what Tabsies was zooming in on just now. It wasn't near the Amba. Maybe just making sure someone had a drink or didn't have a drink. But switching your highlights about halfway through Aquarium is always pretty risky just because you can mess up some of them. But it seemed like there wasn't a big bar rush like for a minute after the starting bar rush. So maybe just switching, and now all the highlights are going to be brought back down. We do get the bug behind the shot.
Yeah, really ugly though. The bouncing was definitely visible, and we pick up the highlight for it. It's suspected, certainly credited, but with just the banana bread left to go here, and us in the conversation with the double agent, here it comes. Now's the moment of truth, and the shot comes off immediately.
Wow. Yeah, immediately indeed. I didn't see the hand. All I saw was the bad path with the ambassador, and I don't think Tabsies could see it either.
No, I think that's right. I was watching from the sniper camera, and that looked, I mean, not clean because the bouncing and the path are very obvious, but I don't think there were any physical tells that Tabsies could see there. It's a really nice shot. Probably crediting those microfilms as well.
Yeah, I mean, when you think that other than being at those two shelves each once, we were in the right conversation, and then we went to the left conversation, and that's the whole game. So to still credit enough to take the shot there is pretty impressive.
Yeah, looking at that replay, the hand was just a little bit visible sticking through Cowboy's frame there. And Tabsies just taking the right shot. Yeah, as you said, we didn't even leave the front half of the party the entire game.
Yeah, all the action for that party was in the back for most of that game, but we still got suspicion in the front.
All right, so Tabsies picking up the first game here. Really strong start. And now Opie has to snipe. On the venue that he has made very clear that he does not enjoy sniping. Let's see what Tabsies has in store for us here. Tabsies, of course, has spent plenty of time practicing and biding his time, waiting to be unleashed by Checker fixing the sliding. Tabsies starting off here as Disney, going to step immediately up to the front window. Let's see if there's going to be some time add.
We're certainly not going to get a flirt at this window, but we are just going to go back into the conversation to get our quick flirt and leave the conversation. I love it. And it's 49.
Yep, Tabsies. Yep. Beautiful. Tabsies doing some cheesy flirts behind the shark cover there, finishing off the drink. And I assume we're just going to step back in there right again. Yep. Nope, never mind. We walk around. We're going to go up to the bar instead.
Yeah, just going to get a drink. I'm assuming we're not going to immediately purloin. That seems unnecessary right now. But these conversations are going to be pretty full when we get this drink. And we can probably delegate to somebody without too much suspicion. Except we're just going to walk away.
Yeah, Tabsies not really wanting to wait for that drink. Just walks away, steps back into that front right conversation circle next to the selection target. It's a white test this time, though, for 83%. But that's okay. We still have 3 minutes left. We have 83% on our flirt. Not a lot of other progress, though. We're probably not credited for flirting with our seduction target here yet. But Tabsies is going to have to figure out some other mission progress to get done here at some point. The ambassador leaves the briefcase at the other front conversation circle, although it looks like Wheels stops right on top of it.
Oh, and the ambassador goes to middle conversation right as middle shark's about to come through. So one of the twins and Hare are about to have a bug. Oh, and Queen probably just got huge bug suspicion.
Yeah, we're not going to take advantage of that. We're just going to take the straight path right into the right side of the bar there, and we're going to request a drink again. Now, I don't know if Tabsies actually has a delegate sort of planned here, given that we bailed on the last one. But I would expect us to take a drink instead of rejecting it again.
Yeah, I would think so this time, just because you'd be wasting too much time at this point to not get one. I think that the first one was just to break up the flirts, really.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. We're not going to do any cheese here. We're just going to accept the drink, pick up the delegate, and keep it in our pocket. a lot of action here going on at the party, though. Twin's going to the statues there and picks up a fake highlight for it. We're going to step back into the front conversation circle with our seduction target again, who hasn't moved this entire time. There's the flirt done. We're down to 1:40 though, and flirt is the only mission we have. We have the delegate in our pocket. We still have the banana bread available to us, but the double agent is out of the conversation briefcasing right now. So we're just going to play it cool and wait for another opportunity to open up. Middle shark just happened with the ambassador in that middle conversation circle, unfortunately, so we can't kick that bug right now. But we're going to have to find progress soon, because all that time that I was talking about earlier, it's ticked down to 1:20 now, and we still just have the flirt finished.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to find really any mission wins at this point, just because 1:10, not enough time to aggressively statue twice or get prince twice. So I'm thinking that we're going to try and frame somebody with a contact. Nope, we're just going to take a... Oh, we took a bug with the drink.
Yeah, wrong arm bug with the drink. I think it was seen, though. Yep, there was no shark cover for it. OP just swings over, highlights, and just decides to take the shot after all, after we go.
Was it wrong arm or was it with the drink? Because I think it was with the drink.
Oh, you might be right. Yeah, that was a drink bug. So, is that technically a bug, or is that
the frame perfect bug?
Yeah, it's frame perfect tech. Jeez.
Wow, that does not happen very often.
No, it does not. And Tabsies' time off, just prepping, building his power level, clearly paying off with that. But unfortunately, Opie not fool and just decides to take the shot right away there.
Yeah, I find it extremely hard when that ever happens to actually catch the bug, because it looks so unnaturally weird, and you're super not ready for that to happen.
No, that's definitely not something that your average sniper has the opportunity to study, that sort of animation. But Opie, again, is not your average sniper. Opie has had plenty of practice, plenty of games, and has seen basically everything the game can throw at you, and managed to take the correct shot there. So Opie now starting off as Rocker on his second spy game here on Aquarium. We get dumped next to the ambassador and walk next to him for a little ways, but no bug comes off. We're just going to go into the bar instead, pick up a drink. We do a delegate cheese instead behind the shark. Smallman, standing next to the ambassador behind the shark at bar, picks up a highlight and a ton of suspicion as we step into the front conversation circle to flirt.
Tabsies was not liking Smallman's position there. All he was focused on was trying to get an angle on Smallman.
Yeah, and it's Smallman. You can't really blame him for that. In the meantime, though, we picked up a white flirt for 34%. We have the double agent in this conversation circle, and we banana bread and bail immediately. Not getting any credit for it, though. No low light coming off, unfortunately. We're going to go step into statues, actually.
Yeah, we step into statues. It looks like the twin that we bailed with is going to get a highlight for going to the bar. So Boots, Irish, and Mom were all out for that BB and didn't get low light. So not as bad as...
Look at Opie. Opie's rushing. Opie delegated the Purloin. He picked up a green swap there, which Taff is going to take, and we're finishing inspects now. As soon as the swap goes off, the game is going to be over and mission win is going to start. Let's see if Taffy's on top of this. Opie has just turned on the gas altogether. Here comes the swap. Mission countdown's on. 7, 6, and Opie gets some shark cover. Opie picked up shark cover. I don't think the swap was even seen. No shots coming up. Opie trying to twitch with the shark, and Opie gets away with the crazy rush here on Aquarium.
Yeah, his twitching behind the shark was actually the only reason Tabsies was about to try and shoot him, because it was not behind the shark for Tabsies.
No, the feet were definitely visible there, and Opie kind of gets away. I think if Opie just stands there innocently in the conversation circle, he's fine.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, Opie's rush pays off, and Opie is now up 2-1.
Yep, and I was expecting that we'd see some Opie shark cheese, but I was not expecting him to play a ballroom game and then try to shark cheese.
It's a really good way of describing it. Yep.
Because that's his favorite ballroom play, is to get a purloin, get a contact, get a swap and a bug, or swap and inspects, and just be before you're ready to shoot anybody.
I think Taff being low light there helped as well. I don't think Tabsies was paying as much attention to the statue as he could have been.
Yeah, for sure.
So really nice job by Opie. Those rushes are hard to cope with no matter what your skill level as a sniper, and Opie pulling it off very, very well. Nice execution.
And remember, that all started with the fact that we got the delegate behind the shark while Smallman was trying to bug the ambassador.
Absolutely true. Good call.
So just taking advantage of that small moment to get something by and then snowball it.
All right. Well, speaking of small moments, Tabsies here. picking the character who may have screwed them over that last time and going as Smallman here.
Yeah, maybe a big
Taking AI control. Yep, absolutely. This could be a cheese play for Tabsies for sure. Smallman steps into one of the back timeout curtains. No timeouts coming off though. No watch checks yet. And we're just gonna walk away without checking a watch. Interesting choice.
Another busy party too. We've seen a lot of busy parties on Aquarium so far.
Yep, definitely true. But we're just sitting in this middle conversation circle. Salmon comes in across from us, and we just start talking. No action here from Tabsies yet. Maybe letting the party shake itself out a little bit more and letting other characters acquire suspicion here before he starts making his plays.
Yeah, not sure of the merits of just using that 45 seconds to do nothing against Opie. He's not going to credit you for like inactivity and low light you or anything. So
no, I agree.
Going to gain much.
Yeah, Opie doesn't really feel like that kind of sniper to me either. Tabsies picks up a 31% flirt in this front right conversation circle, but the seduction target bails and goes to statues. As you said, this party's been crazy busy, like a lot of action going on here, but still no highlights for the party from Opie. Opie probably feels like he has pretty good control of things so far, despite all the activity going on.
Yeah, I mean, he's manually memorizing everybody that goes to bar and statues right now, so probably pretty taxing on him, but people are starting to settle down in these front two conversations a bit. And as soon as that happens, we are going to leave that conversation and enter innocently to the back.
Yeah, Tabsies playing this really, really cool so far. A few, I think, maybe bug credit highlights going on here, as Salmon definitely got credited for a bug, and General as well took a sort of buggy path earlier on the way out to statues. But meanwhile, here we go. We finally leave the conversation circle. We're going to step into the back statue. Are we going for a frame?
I'm not sure. Was somebody at that statue right before us? Was General?
I think that was the General statue.
Yep,
I think so. So we're going to...
General's done with inspects and got a print from the front left statue. And we are narrowing it down to 2 now.
Yep. Yeah, Opie all over the play, suspecting it even as he had zoomed in as Smallman got, as the shark revealed it. Smallman going into the front conversation, so looking like a bug path, but it rears away immediately at the very end.
Yeah, that's a really nice path because going past all those other people instead of those nice open spots right there looks pretty good to Opie. Oh, this bug's going to be...
Here comes the shark.
Banana bread.
Yep, banana bread. Will Tabsies go for the bug as the shark gives cover? No. Tabsies just stays put with the green banana bread. However, we had real and General did not. That's a big deal here.
Yeah, I mean, you would assume that General would also banana bread there, even if it's fake. But nice, we're gonna give General real now, but we're gonna get shot for it.
It doesn't matter. I think the talking there as the banana bread went off probably killed us, giving us white. Clearly, Opie suspecting us for the Smallman play the whole way down there.
Yep, and good call by Opie, and it gets him the 3-1 on Tabsies' doubled venue.
Yep, and now going into Ballroom, which, I mean, it's kind of a meme at this point, but that's Opie's home court.
Yeah, he has home court advantage on most venues to me.
I mean, that's fair. Don't get me wrong. Opie is certainly one of the most accomplished players, even though despite being one of the newer ones in the top echelons of the rankings. But yeah, I mean, Ballroom especially, he's kind of made a name for himself as a Ballroom specialist.
Yeah, he, I think other than maybe Gallery or Tayen, maybe Balcony, I would think that Opie's favored in almost every venue.
I think Opie actually has more balcony knowledge than you might expect. But, I mean, it's not going to come into play here as Opie takes a sip here as Boots at the far right window and just walks away with the drink out of his hand. The Ambassador's in kind of a bugable position here, but Opie is not going to go for it, just stopping this conversation circle here instead. It's empty, and the Ambassador comes to us, never mind, does not. We're going to take a drink. No rushing here.
Yeah, we are going to get a print off the street, though, it looks like.
Yep, and that's always a nice start, especially a drink print, hard to track. The Ambassador's path behind us, we unfortunately have a drink in hand and can't take that reverse drive-by. We're just going to pick up a white flirt instead for 34% here in this far right conversation circle on Ballroom.
Yeah, and I think that this is the most powerful Ballroom game, the drink print Ballroom game, where maybe you get one off a shelf later. You don't have to touch the briefcase, but you still complete that mission. And then just slow play, get the flirts done, get a contact, and then either bug or statues. or really late purloin.
I mean, it's Ballroom. I think there's probably a better than 50% chance that OP goes for bug here at some point. But
Yeah.
we're just staying here and waiting to timer float this out, it looks like, for the time being.
Yeah, I think that the only merits against OP getting a bug is that he has boots, which a lot of her bugs, she's going to stick her arm way out. But a standing bug from boots while she's like talking isn't the worst because she's so demonstrative anyway.
Look at these highlights, though, just for these three characters kind of all standing out next to each other. These are clearly flirt pairs, right?
There must have been a no talk. Well, no, because he didn't highlight the whole party. Yeah, he's low-lighting the whole party.
Yep. Wow. I didn't catch the no talk, so if Tabsies did, that's a really, really nice catch. And Opie's now in serious, serious trouble.
Yeah, I think so too. If Tabsies is confident on this, and it looks like he is since he finally low-lit the rest of the cast, or the rest of the non-cast, that's not going to be good for Opie trying to complete any missions.
No,
yeah,
we'll Tabsies zooming in to check that statue. Yeah, not great.
And I think that if we end up next to Walt or Kane again, it's going to be really suspicious. And we're still going to have to do it again since he bailed on that window flirt.
Yeah, and we're just doing it right now. No respect. Let's see if Tabby just shoots on talk here. Here comes the talk. Flirt is done. We're down under a minute. All we have is done flirt. And here comes a laser burning down us and Walt.
Yeah, Tabsies knows there's no reason to shoot, but I have a feeling he knows that the spy is boots.
Yeah, it certainly seems pretty likely. Unfortunately, OP just has no mission progress. So there's not even a threat of being done here.
Yeah, it was really nice to start with that drink print, but the AMBA has not done much since. And we didn't get that statue pickup either. And you can't
I think that was intentional just to try and throw off some suspicion, but if the screen timeout has noticed, we're the only ones at Windows. I mean, this is going to confirm it for Tabsies, but again, no reason to shoot yet. Nope, here comes the shot anyway.
Yeah, we're the only person at Windows for the last like 15 seconds, and it's a Boots time ad, so you get to see it for the full 5 seconds while she does it. But
yep.
Yeah, Tabsies gets the sniper win.
Yep, very nice, bringing it back. And that's kind of necessary. I mean, not to say that crazy comebacks can't happen, but I mean, being down 3-2 is a lot different from being down 4-1.
Yeah, we saw yesterday that comebacks can happen. You can be down 3-0 and then win 7-4.
Yeah, no big deal, especially against Yarrand.
Yeah. But now Tabsies has to try and get a spy win past OP. And OP's pretty vocal on Ballroom that if you can get missions done really quickly, he's very unlikely to shoot you. But I think that's all bluff. I think he's going to shoot you regardless.
I think the vast majority of the time he will, yes. But it's certainly true. I mean, if you can get like a good bug buy, again, well, I mean, this is not unique to OP, of course. A good bug will beat most snipers in general. But Ballroom especially, there's a lot of opportunities to get really good bugs, where really the best sniper can do is credit it. And if you can pull that off on Ballroom here against OP, that might be your best shot to win.
Yeah, a good bug and then a BB that just doesn't give OP information is, I think, the best way to beat him. And if you can get a sneaky print, that's also really helpful. But other than that, you're going to have a pretty tough time.
Yeah, I mean, the other option, of course, is like a really long purloin chain, which is never a bad thing. But either way, Tabsies going in here as general now, stepping into the far left window pad. Again, no time ad coming off. He's going to go try and get this flirt, but I'm not sure if he's going to have time. Nope, bounces off as Rocker takes the spot and just goes into the empty conversation circle and spinning the camera around a bit to show us his displeasure with the situation.
Yeah, good decision to bounce off there because I think we probably would have got stuck trying to fit in between them. But really short window stay as well. Now we're going to go try and get a blue book. The ambassador's not particularly safe. Boots and some people walking by, so we might not have been noticed with that book yet. But we are just going to stand out in the open with it.
I mean, we were definitely seen at Bookshelf, but the question is whether it was noted. Yeah, as you alluded to, both Toby on the far side of the venue and the ambassador in kind of a vulnerable position there. And we're just going to read this book in the empty conversation circle. Why not?
Yeah, and honestly, if Sik didn't join, I think that we probably could have gotten a microphone there without any suspicion. but I just don't know if this book's going to go back to blue or not. I imagine it won't.
Probably not. Here's the ambassador. Yep, here's the bug. Very, very visible.
Oof.
I can't imagine Opie didn't see that. Just no shot coming off because Opie knows he doesn't need to yet. I gotta assume that Tabsies is probably a dead man walking at this point, though.
Yeah, I mean, we might get a shot just for talking if we ever talk.
Yeah, I bet Tabsies is aware because that bug did not go the way he wanted to. I think he meant to go in front of the ambassador there instead of, or other way around. He meant to go behind instead of in front, and just the hand sticking out was clearly visible.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, that book kind of has to go back in green for us to finish missions, but also that book really can't go in green because we're going to die.
Unless, of course, you can do the drink bug with the book as well, in which case Tabsies just going for another frame perfect bug and not hitting it this time.
That's fair. Yeah, you definitely can. It's the same as with a drink.
I mean, if that's the play, then I respect Tabsies for knowing that he has to pull out some crazy stuff to beat Opie. You know, it probably didn't pay off here. Of course, we could be wrong and Opie just missed it entirely. But
that also explain
the book
why
goes back into the correct
ambassador.
It would, yeah. I mean, that's not a path you would ordinarily attempt to take, and Taft, you know, it's pretty hard to go to the wrong side of. So, I certainly understand that, yeah. But Opie still taking highlights otherwise, and we're not one of them.
Yeah, it's surprising to me because Opie does not just like take routine highlights for like tracking a specific thing. He takes highlights for mission completion. So that is odd that we don't have a highlight.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Sari picks up a highlight and goes immediately to center statues as well and 2 cycles it. No shot coming off though. We're going to go pick up. No, we're just stepping into the conversation circle as Sari joins us. Twins picking up the briefcase. We're going to walk away and go into the double agent center conversation circle here. Start talking immediately, but no banana bread. We're requesting a drink. Maybe banana bread purloin is the play here.
Banana bread.
Yep, we only knock out Sari and Twin with that banana bread, and it's real for like 6 people or 7 people.
Fade was seen. Opie trying to line up the shot here. Tabsies dancing. Tabsies is dancing, but Opie having none of it shoots us in the head, and Opie picks up the sniper win.
Not in mission win countdown also, so like there's nothing to be gained there.
No, I think the play was to just do an obvious purloin and dance and hope that Opie misshoots.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a 1% play to work, but I don't even know if it's that high.
I mean, if Tabsies probably assumed that the bug was seen, assumed that he was dead regardless, and didn't want to time out, so decided that 1% is better than 0% of timing out.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. I think that maybe you have a 2% chance if you just go aggressively flirt, but still, he was a dead man walking. I don't know if the bug was seen or not, but the purloin was definitely on screen.
Yeah, it definitely was. And given how the list was zoomed in on it feels like Opie was pretty on top of that. Maybe just didn't want to highlight to give away the information of having seen it, but it felt just based on the laser movement that Opie was pretty on top of that whole situation.
Yeah, I guess also if you already saw a bug from somebody, there's no reason to highlight them just because you don't have to get good vision on them anymore.
Yep, that's certainly true as well. Good point. All right, so Opie now up 4-2 going into another spy game here. Picking Boots once again, which is a little bit surprising as Boots is definitely not one of the top tier spies for most people. But nonetheless, the ambassador's in the bug well position and we go for it right here off the bat. It's zoomed in on though. It's probably suspected, but no real reaction from Tabsies' sniper.
Yeah, it was zoomed in on a little bit late. We do get highlight like before Sari gets a routine statue highlight. So I think that we are actually suspicious for that bug, but I don't think that it was seen at all because the zoom in was just a little bit too late.
Maybe, but Sari was brought back down to neutral, whereas we did not lose our highlight. So Fab's at least indicating that he suspects a little bit more than maybe he's letting on right now. But we're going to step into the center conversation circle next to our selection target. A little bit far away, unfortunately, and she bails as we flirt anyway, so it's all academic.
Yeah, and it's not like we waited to flirt. She just bailed as soon as we started.
Yeah, you hate to see it, and Opie shakes his camera a little bit as well to show that he as well hated to see it. The selection target is meanwhile just reading at the painting pad, and presumably will be going to dump this book, and the laser is burning us as well.
Yeah, and I'm not really sure why, because the ambassador and Toby are on the far left. seems like things you need to be looking at, but we're still staring at boots, so might be a pretty high suspect.
Yeah, I have a feeling that if not seen, then that bug was at least pretty credited. And as you alluded to in that first game, like Boots' bugging animation is not strong. So maybe a little bit of a snapback was seen at the end of that. Hard to say exactly, but our selection target finally relents and comes over into the same conversation circle. We hit the green test, but it's only 42%. So we're going to need the 3 flirt this regardless. So the situation as such, we have bug done, we have 2 inspects done, and we have a goofy flirt done. But that's it, and then presumably we have a lot of high suspicion here. So if Opie's aware of that situation, if you're in his shoes, how do you finish this game?
I think that it's really tough because with this flirt percentage, you have to 2 flirt, obviously. So if the flirt doesn't come off really soon, then I imagine it'll be a BB and just finish inspects and maybe then come back and flirt. But now that we got it at a minute 20, we can just time our flirt if Alice sticks around. But I would like to see us go get the statues and then come back, because that'll let us finish at like 40 seconds.
Maybe. I mean, it feels like we're in a situation where we could be dead just by going to statues at the end of this game here, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. We were at center statues before, but I think that Sari had it completely blocked the whole time we were there. So it was probably known that we didn't finish statues. But we... Oh, and the laser wants to shoot.
Look at this laser drifting. Yeah, the laser's drifting over so carefully. But no shot comes off, so inspects are done. The question is, are we dead for talking here at any point, though? We go back in the same conversation circle, and I'm sure that's noticed. The laser keeping us on screen very carefully. Here comes the flirt. Moment of truth. Countdown is on. 8, 7. Laser zooms in on us as we talk, but no shot seems to be coming off. It's almost as if it's hesitating, thinking about it, but time is ticking down, and I don't think the shot's going to come off here.
Yeah, really interesting. I don't know if we were zoomed to see if Boots talked or to zoom to see if Boots bugged. If we were zoomed to see if she talked, then the spy needs to be shot there. But if we were just zooming to see if she bugged, then that means it wasn't initially seen at the beginning.
Yeah, either way, Opie gets away with the spy win despite being highlighted from start to finish. That's just a tough loss for Tabsies. It's going to be interesting to hear his thoughts about this game afterwards. I believe he'll be joining us for an interview.
Yeah, that's never easy to do.
But yeah,
when you're highlight at the very start.
Yeah, look at that laser drifting over as if aching to shoot.
It was brutal. I thought for sure Opie was getting shot there.
All right. So Opie 5-2, yeah. Opie has gone so far 2-1 on Ballroom, which of course Opie's map choice. And again, like, Opie is certainly the favorite coming into this match. I don't think anybody would be surprised to hear us say that.
Yeah, I mean, Opie in basically any tournament that he's entered finishes in the top 4 or so, if not being in the finals. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Opie just like win this entire tournament, but at the same time, I am surprised to see Tabsies losing. Just in general, I would always expect Tabsies to win, but his opponent's really tough.
Oh, of course, and path to victory here for any player is not going to be easy with the caliber of players in this tournament. I mean, if Opie wins here, then the rest of their side of the bracket has either Rio or Hunu, then Legorv, who already won yesterday, and then either Lazy Bear or Mini Orek. And if the favorites win out here, then like that's just brutal.
Yeah, it seems like a tough route for the other side of that bracket to try and get past once they make it to the finals.
Definitely. All right, so Tabsies here as queen, trying to salvage a spy win here on Ballroom. Unfortunately, the selection target is at green bookshelf, so we just go to the painting pad, don't sip, and just walk away. We're going to go out to window and probably finish this drink, I would assume, out to this top left window pad, where Tabsies has been spending a lot of time. No sip here again either, though. Tabsies just does not like sipping at windows, does he?
No, I don't know if he's been watching Legorv v. Screwloose a few nights ago, but that was talked about a lot on spies sipping early on when they have a drink. Just getting rid of that drink quickly is a thing spies like to do.
I think that's true, but at the same time, I think AI don't generally hang on to a drink for a long period of time when they start with one. So it's definitely a fine line of the suspicious time versus the non-suspicious time to have it taken care of.
I really
we just leave. I think we.
Go Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I really thought that Tabsies was going to try and get a bug with the drink hand there as he entered the conversation.
It did kind of seem like it, didn't it? And it looked like we even broke animation to go for it, but no bug came off. Maybe just spamming it and it didn't come off. All right, so we're here in this the back right conversation circle with our selection target, and we're going to leave as the ambassador comes over to join us. We're going out to the window pad instead.
Yeah, not going to get much done out here. The flirtation cooldown is expired, but all we have is 33% on that. And joining him now at the bookcase would be a fool's errand. You're not going to get it off before he puts the book back and leaves.
Tabsies takes a goofy sort of path in there right next to the ambassador with the drink in hand. I think Tabsies is going all in on getting a drink bug here. Alright, so time is ticking down. We're down to 1:20. All we have is 2/3 of our flirt down and nothing else. Here's a fake green BB, but unfortunately it's real for us as we have an SDA in our conversation circle. And we're picking up highlights for real. Opie with assumed real highlights now. And we're in serious trouble. Like, I don't know how we're even going to finish. I don't think we can, and we just have to rely on somebody else getting shot. So that might mean just waiting for Purloin Chain, firing off a Purloin and hoping.
Yep, we're not going to get it yet, though, since Twin did take a drink right before that. So we're just going to reject and leave, but boy, nothing done, and only a minute left.
Nope, here comes the real banana bread now. Comes off, a couple more lowlights available, including one at statues, unfortunately. We banana bread, we white, we walk away. We're going to go pick up our last flirt here at windows. Safety off on us, though.
Yeah,
down in 30 seconds, and Tabsies, again, dead man walking.
So much suspicion, and we don't have anything done. Like, we have flirt and contact, and the sniper already knows about those things. So you're still going to try and get more done. And yeah, you're shot for that snapback.
That was another drink bug, I think.
Yeah, it was. Wow. Wow.
Tabsies has decided to go all in on the contained hand bugs here. Clearly that was a conscious choice coming into the set. Unfortunately, it hasn't been paying any dividends. Both times where he's hit it, he's been shot for it.
Yeah, and the time where he missed it, it was out in front of the ambassador on camera. So, yeah, pretty brutal. Tabsies going for a really sneaky strat, but I think after the first and second time that it doesn't work, maybe you try to go to something else.
Still, though, I'm like really impressed because, I mean,
it's very hard to do.
Lazy Bear was saying that he's tried figuring out a way to consistently hit these, and like Tabsies, I think is like a probably 40-50% success rate, which is insane.
Yeah, and I mean that's coming from Lazy Bear, who I think is probably the best mechanical spy in the game. His green test rate is absurd. He's the the new founder of Shark Shenanigans.
Oh, certainly, yeah.
So we're gonna do Highrise with Prince off, Purloins on, and it's match point for Opie, I believe.
Yeah, I like this setup personally. Yep, you are correct. 6-2 currently. I was saying though, like I know there's been some back and forth as far as the like the mission setup here on Highrise, like fingerprint instead of Purloin is the traditional way of doing it, but I kind of like having the Purloin option instead. And Opie clearly with us on that. Could have taken the bug there at the beginning, but instead just going to blue bookshelf here next to our selection target, picking up a 51% flirt, taking the book out, which I assume is just going to be dumped back innocently because there's no microfilm on. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, and I mean I think that it's been talked about a bunch. We're shot for that. The different setup on Highrise, but I think it depends on two things: either how you want to win a spy game, if you're trying to get it with mission wins or if you're trying to get it with civ shots. And then I think it also depends on the sniper you're playing. If you want the sniper to commit to watching the Purloin, or if you think that they're going to miss a Purloin, then leave that on. Or if you think they're bad at tracking prints, leave that on. And then if you want to mission win, I think it's better to have Purloin on just because you have that safety net to get it done at the end of the game.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I think at this point, like, sniper play in general has progressed to the point where a lot of players are pretty competent at catching fingerprints. So,
yeah, for
like, sure. I think in general, against, your average sniper, like, competitive sniper, like, fingerprints are more often than not going to be tracked pretty well. So Tabsies here as queen again. at this point, having seen the potential drink bug so often, I wouldn't be surprised to see that happen again. It looks like we're setting up for one as well as we go in here and sip. It's not going to be a drink bug this time, but it does still seem like we might be going for a double walking bug. But the ambassador walks away, and we're just going to go into the conversation circle instead next to the double agent here.
Yeah, and we're in a spot where a bug is not going to happen, and the ambassador is going to leave pretty soon, being right next to Rocker. A couple people already have statue visits, though. We've got Seek, Boots, and Seek, Boots, and Mom all have statue visits early on, and now Kane.
Yep. And there we go. Opie finally highlighting one of them. Opie definitely not highlighting just for statue visiting instead. I don't know if Kane is done or if this is just a general suspicion highlight. But yeah, Opie's highlights have been very, very Spartan so far this set.
Yeah, it could have been based on either the pickup or the way that he came around the corner. But either way, that's a lot of people having half inspects. It makes it pretty likely that somebody's going to finish inspects this game. And that makes your BB really powerful.
Yep, that's definitely true as well. Good point. And Tabsies certainly is probably aware of that and waiting for a good opportunity. But unfortunately, the double agent is out of the conversation, and Tabsies doesn't know it, but so is the suspected double agent. So we're just going to go tuck ourselves into the front conversation circle next to Mom, our selection target, and pick up our first flirt. It's a green for 51%, very nice. The ambassador paths by us, but we don't pick up a flirt, or excuse me, a drive-by bug, as the path isn't quite right. We're just going to hang out with a drink in hand and wait.
Yep, and it's pretty fortunate we got that 51%, because if she ends up leaving or getting a briefcase or something, we might only have the chance to do one more flirt if she's really unkind. So waiting for this timer, and hopefully we can hit that second green. Pretty full conversation now, but the real DA from our perspective is still out, so we have no idea if there's any DAs in.
Yeah, well, unfortunately.
Because everybody else is in.
Yep, that is true. We pick up our second flirt on the timer there finally for 85%, but time is ticking down. We're down under a minute 15 now. We have 85% flirt and nothing else. So Tabsy's either going to have to find some mission progress real quick or just rely on the frame. And that may be tough. I mean, the party has been pretty active, but no, Tabsy's saying screw it, just going to center statues and picking up the immediate highlight for it.
Yeah, and all those inspects earlier that people did, and we're the only ones that have inspects complete.
Yeah, that's not great. The party really not giving Tabsies much in the way of party luck, and look at this laser just kind of swinging over every so often. But I think OP's aware that we're not done yet, as no banana bread has come off, and OP always very good at catching bugs. The ambassador threatened there a little bit by Kane, who is a highlight.
Mom also, she had some really good Twitch bug opportunities. Wow, we didn't take that bug.
No, we didn't, and OP shook his laser real quick there.
Yeah, that would have been completely invisible, and Opie was not happy about it, and we're still not going to get it, and still are credited for it.
No, instead we green Purloin here at the windows. Now's going to be the moment of truth. We're going to finish up this flirt, and then as soon as this list is taken, safety off on us, though.
Yeah.
that bug is very much suspected and credited. However, it looks like another reject from another highlight who's going for a fingerprint. All right, flirt's done. Now's the moment of truth. The clock is going to hang at 0. OP is completely aware. OP low-lighting people who are not in the Purloin chain or who are in the windows. Safety off on us. And shot comes off. So OP takes the set 7-2.
Yeah, pretty
7-3, excuse me.
Pretty convincing victory there. That was exactly your prediction beforehand when we were talking, too. That's pretty impressive.
I'm just that good. What can I say?
You must just know these players better than anybody. Oh man, that bug path is so unfortunate because I don't think that Tabsies even was thinking about a bug path there because the ambassador just kind of came and bumped into us a bunch. And Opie just knew for sure that Queen had to be shot if anything happened.
Yep. All right. So that's the set. Opie and Tabsies look like they are available for interviews. Let's see if we can get them to come down to our channel here and just talk to us for a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think we can really head up there because Dels is down here. There we go. Opie, congratulations on your victory.
Thanks.
Tabsies played well.
Yeah.
Just, I think some unfortunate catches on those bugs that you were going for the entire set. I really liked those.
Yeah, I saw him. I saw that like drink snap back, and I was like, "Wait, was that a drink bug? Was that on purpose?" And then he sipped twice, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I can just shoot now."
Is that
Tabsies, going for those offhand bugs pretty much the entire set. I assume that was a conscious plan coming in.
Yeah, because I figured playing a straight game, I wouldn't really win.
That's reasonable because playing a straight game against OP, I feel like is you're playing uphill most of the time.
Oh man!
So in that, was it your very first game that you had the drink bug on Aquarium?
Oh yeah, that was
one
Disney. Yeah,
that one I think was the nicest. The Queen one on Ballroom, I don't know exactly which game that was.
Yeah, the Queen game on Ballroom, he was already just a big suspect with how the contacts came off. Like no one else really made sense, and so like I was watching for whatever shenanigans might happen over there, anyways. That bug might have been a lot nicer if I didn't know about the drink bugs yet.
Yeah,
because then I'd be like, it's fine. There's a drink in this hand. I can just watch one hand, and I would have missed it maybe.
yeah.
Tabsies, on the other Ballroom game where I think you were general and you kind of just did the bug in front with the wrong arm. I assume that was going for another offhand bug and you just didn't get the timing right.
Yeah, definitely.
So
it's really, really hard.
funny story about that bug. I was staring right at it and missed it because I was worried about the book bug.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah,
which is hilarious.
We were extremely confused on that bug, actually, OP, because it was in the very center of the camera and you were double zoomed in on it.
Yeah, that's definitely like I looked back on the replay of that and I was like, where was this bug? And then I looked at like what I was looking at when the bug happened, and I just gave myself a little bit of a face palm because I remember thinking specifically, like after he walked through there, I was like, "Oh, that could have been a book bug." Yeah, that was a very unusual bug to miss, and I'm gonna blame the fact that I'm having to deal with suddenly deal with the fact that drink and book bugs are no longer off limits for Tabsies rather.
It was all calculated. I knew you'd be looking at the book bug, so I, purposely miss, Taps Temple.
I do want to know, Opie, in the other Sniper Ballroom from you, what got Queen all the suspicion because she hadn't done missions yet?
Yeah, so with that game, the biggest thing about that game for me when I was sniping it was there were two contacts, right? And what I did for the first one is I highlight everyone who had the contact. I switched up my lights a little bit. The thing is, when I hear the second contact go off, Queen already has a real contact in my eyes, but I noticed that she's switched conversations from which SDA she's with, right? And none of the other highlights did that, and none of the neutral lights were getting a new real BB. So it really didn't make sense for anybody else because that second contact, it doesn't give any. If all SDAs are the same, then I don't get any new information out. Like there's no new suspects. There's just new low lights, right? So it had to be someone who was in for what they thought was a fake, but it was actually a real on my end. So like Queen was the only one who was in for that kind of thing, and then just started moving around a bunch, like to Windows, I think, to flirt with Twin, to try to get that finished off before the game ended. So.
Yeah,
just the timing of the contacts and such.
Yeah, you had safety off on Queen before she had two missions done, and only one of them was contact. So I was a little bit surprised with all that suspicion. But then it helped you rotate to see the drink bug.
Yeah, I'm gonna be guarding. I'm gonna be guarding Ambassador. Anyone going to the Ambassador in the late game, regardless. But yeah, having Queen do that specifically when I was already so suspicious was like I'm staring this down, right?
All right. Opie, any commentary on using Dirty Shark exploits on Aquarium?
It's still bad. Don't do it. And actually, the way I did it this time
was
around
really bad.
was not good. I thought the shark was further along than it was.
Yeah.
And
in that game where Opie tried to shark cheese at the end, was your only reason for having suspicion the fact that he was trying to shark cheese there with the twitching?
You mean the one where he was twin?
No, Rocker.
The rush game.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
the rush.
I literally I missed him at every single moment. Like I just happened to be looking somewhere else. Like at the beginning of the game when he did the delicate cheese, I think Smallman was bugging. I was just staring at that. When he was doing inspects, I think I was probably just staring at Ambo. Like he just picked. I don't know if you calculated it like that, but you picked the perfect times to just rush.
Yeah.
The early game of that party was lining up pretty well. I spawned near bar. There was a top shark, right? Ambassador behind top shark. Like there were things that told me like, look, I can rush this. I would have preferred to get a 2 flirt for my rush instead. But the first being a white test meant I had to just go for the swap.
At the start of that game, you do the delegate cheese behind the shark. Were you doing it just because you're behind the shark, or did you notice that the laser was trying to get a view at Smallman and the ambassador?
No, I did not notice that the ambassador like the laser was specifically looking for that. But being behind shark and with Amba being behind shark at the same time, and if literally anyone is in the area near ambassador at that time, like I can reasonably guess that the attention's not entirely going to be on me. And of course, it's still time of chaos, so there's a good chance I get away with the delegate cheese with shark, anyways. So.
Oh, also in the very first game of the set, we had Twin as the spy, Tabsies sniper, and I'm just curious if. Oh, I actually don't have that replay. I'm just curious what got Twin such suspicion. Did you see the actual bug or just the bug path?
I was already suspicious of him for flirt, and I didn't want to highlight him, so he would do suspicious things. Also, it's Twin on Aquarium, so I just tunneled him for most of the game.
Because Twin has such good opportunities to do things on Aquarium?
Yeah, quick speed. He's really good for a lot of the cheeses. But it was mainly the quick flirt. At one point, I remember he went back to the same person. I think it was Oprah.
Yeah, punished.
Yeah.
I mean that felt like a good game. I'm not sad that I lost it necessarily. I'll take that game, right?
Oh yeah, it was good.
Did you have any other things to ask, Spad?
No, I think you've covered it actually quite exhaustive length. Anything else you guys wanted to share with us about either your preparations or how you thought that this match went?
I mean, I feel like it went pretty well.
Yeah, 3-7. I think that's a respectable score. I didn't really expect to win. I just wanted to test out my little drink and
certainly did
tech.
Stop!
Yeah,
why are people always testing out their tech and competitive against me? Why is it always Lazy Bear and the shark cheese, Tabsies and this?
You're just the perfect target.
Oh God!
By the way, thank you. I'm pretty sure you're the one who taught me how to do that. Like I asked you on Discord.
Right. I theorized how it could be done, like why it happens. So I have brought this upon myself, have I?
Yeah, so that was during the sledding patch, and I had literally nothing else to do, so I would just go in practice mode and practice drink bugs.
Jeez. All right. Well, I guess we can expect to see either a patch or some other changes coming to deal with this sooner rather than later. In the meantime, though, the counterplay is suspect anyone who walks near the ambassador, regardless of whether they have something in their hand or not.
Well, that's what I already do. It's fine.
All right. Well, thank you both for the interview and for the wonderful games that we just got